And then there's like the other play. There's like, they're very busy children, so we sometimes lie to our kids. We don't lie, that's a horrible thing to say. I don't lie to my children.
You'd be hard-pressed to find someone who has never seen a movie with him in it, but Tom Hanks himself says that he's only made 4 pretty good movies. Here's what they are. After that, we'll tell you more about the book tour that Quentin Tarantino is about to go on. Mila Kunis finally confirmed a rumor that has been going around for years, and more. Want to know what we're hiding? Keep watching.
Are you out of your mind? I will find my own way to preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution of the United States.
But first, Tom Hanks says he's made only 4 pretty good movies. Here's what they are. Tom Hanks has one of the most recognizable faces in Hollywood, which shouldn't come as a surprise, given how he's acted in almost 100 movies. But if you ask Hanks himself, he thinks only 4 of them are pretty good, as he confessed in a new interview with People. But which ones? Sadly, that remains a mystery, because he refused to shed light on the details. However, Hanks wasn't shy about expressing his amazement about how movies, all of them, are made. From a flicker of an idea to the flickering of an image on screen, the whole process is a miracle, he said. Hanks has starred in some of cinema's most loved and celebrated movies in his career that spans over 4 decades. Among those are Philadelphia and Forrest Gump, for which he got the Academy Award for Best Actor. He was also nominated for an Oscar for Castaway, Saving Private Ryan, Big, and A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood, which came out in 2021. Hanks explained that each movie is very hard work, spanning over a long period of time. Enough time to have a lot of moments of joy, which are balanced out with an equal number of feelings of self-loathing, making it both the greatest job in the world and the most confounding labors at the same time. And on the 9th of May 2023, he's releasing a book, The Making of Another Major Motion Picture Masterpiece.
If we were a plumbing supply business, or if we ran, the florist shop down the street, the whole family would be putting in time at some point.
Next up, we have Quentin Tarantino is going on a 5-city book tour. Talking about books, Quentin Tarantino is preparing to embark on a small book tour for his first nonfiction book ever. The book is called Cinema Speculation and will be released on the 1st of November 2022, with the book tour starting 2 days later, on the 3rd of November. The cinephile, filmmaker, podcaster, and author will make stops in 5 major cities in the United States, starting in Los Angeles, continuing to San Francisco, Portland, Austin, and wrap up the tour in New York City. Fans of Tarantino have been waiting for this book throughout his career, which spans 3 decades, and now it's finally here. In Cinema Speculation, Tarantino has written about and analyzed the movies that shaped him, from his early childhood and into his adulthood. Given how he's one of the most famous movie lovers of all time, the book is packed with film theory, reporting, film criticism, and personal history, while centering on some of the most important movies that were made throughout the 1970s. But this isn't the first time that Tarantino has written a book. In 2019, he published Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, a novelization of his 2019 movie that bears the same name, which unsurprisingly ended up being a New York Times #1 bestseller. It would be surprising if Cinema Speculation doesn't follow in the same footsteps, don't you think?
Or if you're talking about Christoph Waltz, it doesn't matter. If you're right there by the camera.
And now, Mila Kunis admits that she lied about her age to be cast for that '70s show. Everyone has been saying it for years, but until now, it was never truly confirmed. There's a rumor going around that I may or may not have lied about my age, Mila Kunis said to Vanity Fair in a recent interview. I'd like to make it very clear now that I did lie. I did. When Kunis first appeared in that '70s show, she was in fact only 14 years old, and the rumor was that Kunis had told the show's creators that she was 18 in order to be allowed to audition, because the network was only looking for older teen actors. It was during a time when older kids played younger kids, and Kunis was actually of the age of the role that she was auditioning for. But when it was time for what was then called the Producers Network call, the jig was up, because Kunis had to sign a contract in which she had to put an asterisk for studio teacher. At first, the producers were confused about this, which is when she confessed, but by then, they were already madly in love with Kunis's performance, and there was no way back. So yes, Kunis did lie about her age, but by the time filming started, everyone was well aware of her true age, and a good thing she did too. After all, she did meet her future husband on that very set.
Okay. He had vasculitis. It was awful. It got diagnosed. It got better.
And he's fine.
Yeah, he's running the New York Marathon. You get that part of the trauma, then the rest is more exploratory and fun and exciting and...
But wait, there's more. We've been talking about it since 2017, but it seems like Dwayne Johnson loves being a daddy too much to run for president. And there's an adaptation of Neil Gaiman's very first graphic novel in the works, for which Ben Kingsley has been tapped to star. And if you want to hear all the details, you better keep watching until the very end of this video.
It's an original
We're globetrotting around the world, stealing things. With great action.
Now, let's keep going. First up, Dwayne Johnson loves being a daddy too much, so he won't be running for president anymore. It all started as a joke. If Arnold Schwarzenegger can become the governor of California, why can't Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson run for president of the United States? But then Johnson got wind of it, and things got a little more serious. Even Johnson himself thought it would be a great idea, and he told Variety that he was 100% considering to actually run back in 2017. Fast forward to 2021, and he was even meeting with people in politics to conduct a small amount of research and analysis to see, because Johnson will be the first to admit that he really has no clue about politics, let alone what an actual presidential run would look like. But now, it seems that Johnson has changed his mind, and the idea has been taken off the table completely. "I love our country and everyone in it. I also love being a daddy, and that's the most important thing to me, is being a daddy," he said. Johnson knows what it's like to be on the road, as he was absent for a lot of years with his first daughter. The early years are critical years, and they fly by, and if Johnson were to take up a presidential run now, he would take himself away again from his youngest, Tiana. But who knows, maybe when his children are all grown up, we can remind him again of his decent leadership skills. It would also give him some more time to polish up his politics.
Don't. I won't. Hey, look, this is access. This is like, people will have access.
And last but not least, Ben Kingsley set to star in adaptation of Neil Gaiman's first ever graphic novel, Violent Cases. The first ever graphic novel by Neil Gaiman and Dave McKeon is getting a feature film adaptation, and Ben Kingsley has been tapped to star in it. The movie will be led by writer Mark Carey, who also worked on Lucifer and other books in the Sandman universe, the latter of which were also created by Neil Gaiman, as you were probably aware of. Cole McCarthy will be directing Violent Cases, and Camille Gayton will be producing, with Scary Monster, Lakesville Productions, and Photon Pictures producing. Violent Cases is a wild journey into the mind of Neil Gaiman, as a famous author paints the picture of his fragmented childhood memories and visits an osteopath who once worked for Al Capone, as it weaves a dark and twisting tale about stories, our memories, violence, and the ways we can't escape our pasts, no matter how hard we try. And Ben Kingsley has been tapped to portray the osteopath. Kingsley says he's delighted to be working with this extraordinary team on Violent Cases, which, to him, is about the power and importance of storytelling, how we negotiate the shadows that have been cast by father figures in our lives, and above all, the right of our inner child to be heard. Violent Cases was Gaiman's first ever graphic novel, but at the same time, it's a masterpiece. Chris Pratt's Mario voice is baffling fans, but not in a good way. Universal Pictures and Nintendo released a first official trailer for the Super Mario Bros. Movie, and with it, the very first time we've been given a listen to Chris Pratt's Mario voice. Earlier in 2022, Pratt had boasted about how proud he was with what he had landed on, after working very closely with the directors to craft the perfect Mario voice. According to him, they tried a few different things, and what they ended up with would be nothing like we've ever heard before. Well, you can say that. Viewers almost unanimously agree that Mario sounds like, well, Chris Pratt. And that really isn't a good thing when you want to hear Mario and not Chris Pratt the actor. Have you seen the trailer yet? If so, what do you think about Mario's voice? And that's all we have for now. Which movies do you think are in Tom Hanks's top 4? Let us know in the comments what you think, and thanks for watching.